Is the Mac City Morning Show. Like I start off every show, thank you so much for tuning in today. There's a million other things you could be doing with your time, but you've decided to spend it with us. And I'm really excited about today's episode. But before we start the episode, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
Oh, me nerves, it's about time we started. This here's the Mac City Morning Show.
All right, and we're back. Okay, so today's guest is a wild one. There's no doubt about that. The first time we met each other, it was actually her pulling a practical joke on me. So without further ado, Tanner, please hit her with the camera. Renee, please introduce yourself to the world.
Hey everybody, my name's Renee Manners. I am local to Fort McMurray. I've been here for, I think, 13 years. I'm an artist and a comedian, and I'm super pumped to be hanging out with you.
There we go. All right. So, artist and comedian.
Yeah.
You're not gigging right now.
No.
So how are you staying sharp with your acting or your joke chops?
It's just natural. I guess I don't even, my son, lots of, he's my best audience, I guess. He actually calls me out on my jokes now.
Yeah.
Telling me how bad they are.
Yeah.
I forgot about, actually, the first time that we met, that was a prank that we pulled on you.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. And so I told my little sister that you were coming here today.
Yeah.
And she actually is going to look up like the initial prank.
Yeah.
But for the people at home, if you want to look up the video, I should have found the title. Maybe we'll put a link below this video after we're done. I was doing Remax interviews. So I interviewed about 30 Remax agents to shoot videos, do profiles in like a 3-day period. And then you showed up at the end as a real estate agent, and I was asking you the questions, and you were just giving me the wildest answers ever. And like my favorite one that you said is just, I was like, so why did you get into real estate? And you're like, because it starts with R. And I was like, what? You're like, yeah, I like to do things that start with the first letter of my name.
Yeah.
Renee, Remax, real estate. It all makes sense.
You just, so I just came in because I knew Will through acting, and he had opened his business. So I just came in and I was like, hey, buddy, what's up? Look at your cool spot. And he was like, come here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are we doing? He's like, you're going to pretend you're a real estate agent. And that was all I knew. And then he just sat me down, and I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, it definitely brightened my day. And at the end, I was just like, what? I was like, I can't make a video. This is like the most unprofessional business profile ever. I'm gonna have to tell this lady she's got to come back and like calm it down.
This lady.
So that was the first time we met, which was hilarious.
And then how did Will tell you like that it was a prank? Did he admit it, or was he just messing with you?
Oh, he didn't tell me for like hours after you left, where I was just like, because I was laughing after you left. I'm like, that was because it was a long work week.
Yeah.
And everybody was giving me like the traditional answers, which was great. That's what they were supposed to was. And when you left, I was like, man, that was hilarious. And I was looking at the video afterwards. I'm like, I can't put that out. And then he didn't tell me. He just laughed. He just broke out laughing. And I knew as soon as he laughed, I'm like, you set me up. And he broke down and told me who you were. So
he's a funny guy.
Yeah. But since then, like, you're kind of a jack of all trades. Like, so you pull pranks, and you might have been a part of a prank or two, which we won't talk about here. But, but you make balloon animals, you paint windows, you are a comedian, you're an actress, like, you're all over the place.
Yeah, hustling.
Yeah.
Hustling. You got to do what you got to do. Pay the bills, you know?
So what have you been up to recently then?
Well, recently, just because there's not a lot going on, I've just been renovating my own house, and I've actually been setting up my own studio to do my own show, which is exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, so not a lot of people know that, so I've just been like, moving everything around, painting, renovating, getting to all that stuff that I've wanted to do forever, but I've always been too busy. I am an art teacher at Mac Island normally, but with everything shut down right now, that's... wait till it's safe again to hang out with the kids. So I'm looking to go more digital with that.
Right.
So I'm looking to do like a Mr. Dress Up style art teacher show.
Serious?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so.
How far along are you with that process?
Well, just painting and setting up a set. And then I have like a business plan and ideas and everything put in place. And so basically I want to teach kids grief recovery and self-awareness and self-control through art projects. And then I want to take it online.
Nice.
So that we can get to every kid.
That's
so
awesome.
that they understand what they're feeling, they understand what they're going through, but they don't really know that they're being taught. They're just doing art projects. So they can learn about their emotions and things like that. So they can understand what they're feeling and why they're feeling it instead of kind of being in trouble, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. Well, definitely after this show is done, we're going to have to talk about like the equipment we got with the cameras. I think when I had this idea of starting this show, in my head, I'm like, this is going to be the easiest thing in the world. And I called my business partner up and I'm like, Jay, we're going to do a podcast. We're going to call it the Mac City Morning Show. 2 weeks tops. Like, we'll get it all off the ground. And he's just like, he always is the one who kind of brings me down a little bit. He's just like, probably won't happen in 2 weeks, bro. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. And it took 2 months.
Yeah.
And everything that possibly could go wrong went wrong. From finding a location to cameras dying to microphones not working. So, when we're done filming, we will tell you everything we did wrong. So
Perfect.
You don't have to fall into that trap.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. That works out.
That's cool.
I definitely need help in those departments.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got Tanner here. Tanner's a wealth of knowledge for sure.
I can do the creative side, but I need the technical side for sure.
That's it. So I want to talk about something which happened really cool. So this is let's try to shout out some companies that we want free stuff from.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we had a guest on the show, and I haven't even told Tanner this yet, but we had Crystal Mercury on the show.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about camera gear on her show.
Okay.
We were talking about how we rock Nikon. Big shout out to Nikon.
Go Nikon.
Yeah, go Nikon.
Go Nikon.
I love Nikon.
Me too.
They're my favorite, actually.
Yeah. Look at all these smart people. I think she's our best guest yet.
Yeah. So
There's lots of room for other
she
guests.
was talking about how she loves Sony.
Oh.
Anyways, she sent me a screenshot of an email that she got from a Sony representative. Saying like, hey, we know you rock Sony. If you ever run into any trouble, we're here to help you out. So I was just like,
Where's Nikon? Where's the email
where's
from?
Nikon at? But more importantly, and I don't have a picture of it yet, but there's some shoes. I like shoes that I really want. They're called the Nike Ben & Jerry Dunks.
Oh.
I don't know if you've ever seen these shoes, but they're just like a Nike shoe, but they're based on like the Ben & Jerry ice cream wrapper.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So they got rainbows inside and they have cowhide on the outside. There's some pretty ridiculous shoes.
How much do those shoes cost, Elliot?
Well, Nike sells them when they came out for the typical cost of a Nike shoe, $100, $125. But because of the sneakerheads out there, this shoe now costs anywhere between $25,000 to $5,000.
I guess it's the equivalent of like a fancy bag.
That's right. But like, I'm not buying shoes for $25,000 to $5,000
Yeah, that's
because I'm gonna wear them. I'm not gonna wear them.
yeah.
So if there's anybody out there from Nike or a sneaker store or like somebody who just likes the show, if you want to send me a pair of Nike Ben & Jerry Dunks, I'd be very happy and I will wear them. I promise. Like every show.
We can do that?
Well, I'm gonna see. That's what I'm trying.
That's awesome.
So is there like a wish list item that you would like? Because Sony was listening to one episode, so.
You're putting me on the spot? Well, like I'd really like it if Mike Holmes would just come over to my house and hang out for, a couple weeks and just fix some stuff up for me. That'd be awesome.
All right.
I love art supplies. Any art supplies?
So Mike Holmes and art supplies.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
Those are your wishes. That's all
Those are
right.
my wishes.
Tanner, what do you got? Any wishes you have?
Absolutely not. I want to just see what people give me. I like sweaters, clothes, anything. I just want to
Yeah.
see what they'll bring and see what people want to give me.
Okay, so Tanner's into the free swag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got art supplies and Mike Holmes.
Yeah.
I guess when I asked my sister this question, and so I'm going to look at the camera for this. So when you look at the camera, you got to angle it properly. Will Smith, my little sister Alicia, is going through cancer treatment. And her biggest wish in life is to get a video from you. If she could meet you, she'd be over the moon. But she will take a Will Smith shout out. So, Will Smith, if you're watching, my little sister's name is Alicia. And if you could just send her a video saying, hey, Alicia, this is Will Smith. Keep fighting the fight. It would blow her mind. So.
All right, I got one more then. My mom, she wants to meet Matthew McConaughey so that he can write her book. She's read that.
All right, hold on. Matt McConaughey. Matt McConaughey, your book is actually on the set. Great book. If you haven't read it, anybody, it's called Green Lights. Go figure. My company's name is called Greenlight Creative. So, hey, big shout out to Matt McConaughey and Green Lights. This is a phenomenal book. I not only have the book in hard copy, but I also have the audio version where Matt actually, Matt, we're on that level. He,
Me and my buddy Matt.
He reads it. So yeah, Green Lights. There you go.
Yeah, and my mom actually read that book, and she loved it so much that she came out and she said, yeah, I want him to write my book. So
there we go. So that was a component of the show where we're doing shameless shout outs for things we want. And
I didn't know that. I would have been more prepared.
I know.
Next time I'll have a whole list.
Yeah.
I'm not good at asking for stuff, I don't think.
Well,
I'm the giver.
There you go. So I've got a question. And I feel bad about this.
Okay, good.
But I've never actually seen you perform live on stage.
It's just like hanging out with me. They just put a microphone in my face.
Yeah. So how did you start? Like why? Like I love comedians and I love stand up. I'm addicted to watching stand up.
Who's your favorite?
Well, that's a great question. Like, okay. Dave Chappelle is currently like the GOAT, but he's not even really doing stand-up. So it depends on what kind of stand-up you're looking at. So as of right now, Dave Chappelle, I think, is the most introspective. He's funny and he can talk about something and make you think about something differently. However, hands down, you always got to go back to I love Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor to me is just I could listen to that man speak forever.
It's pretty awesome having the internet now because you have endless amounts of information and you can get to know people really easily and get to know different kinds of comedians and stuff like that. It's pretty wild that you can even just get paid to talk.
We're trying.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So how I got started, it was actually kind of by accident.
Okay.
So what happened was after the fires, I had gone through grief recovery. So I lost my mom. I had a couple of pretty heavy things happen to me in my life. I lost my dad, and then I lost my stepdad, and then I lost my mom when my son was just a baby. And then I had my engagement fail. So I had a lot of grief happen, and it pretty much just annihilated me as a person, and I didn't realize what was going on. And when I started to pick myself back up, I was trying to figure out how to get back to happy. I didn't understand how to get happy again. And when you go to the doctors or you look for that information, it's nowhere to be found. So I started searching on my own, and I came across this book called The Grief Recovery Method. And it basically taught me what I was going through and why I was going through it and how to get back on my feet. And it was completely general. So it didn't matter if you were a man, woman, kid, race, religion, anything. It worked for everybody. And once I got a hold of that information, it totally changed my life. So much to the point where I went to LA and I actually got certified under these doctors so that I could teach it too. Because I feel like it needs to be taught in schools. So after the fires, I knew that it was such a traumatic experience. I knew it was going to cause suicides, divorces. I knew people were just going to get into these heavy, heavy depressions. And I wanted to create an event that, you ever going through a hard time? You ever gone through a breakup and your buddies grab you and they drag you out to the bar and they take you to the strippers or wherever and they take you partying and you didn't want to leave. You don't want to leave your house, but you're so glad that they came and got you and they came and did that and you needed that. So I wanted to create an event that made people feel like that. So it was actually the night of the gala. I just said, we're going to do a comedy. And I used to do these in-home spas. I used to sell spa products as a single mom. I would have people come to my house, 6 or 7 women, and I would teach them how to spa themselves with these products. And it was more about just self-care and self-love. And hey guys, you don't need to do a lot in order to show yourself some love. Just heat up a face cloth and throw it on your face and do some deep breathing. And then of course, just because I'm naturally comical. And it was how I made a lot of friends, and it was how I had people over. And I just thought to myself, so So my mom struggled with addiction, and it caused her death. And I just thought maybe if somebody would have talked to my mom early enough in her life, that she could have gone in a different direction. So I wanted to do that for other people. I just wanted to teach people, like, hey, sometimes you feel crummy. This is how you can kind of like counteract it, right? Or this is why you feel crummy. So I wanted to create an event that did that for like mass amounts in Fort McMurray. And I knew we had to act quick. So it was actually on the night of a gala. I just said, okay, let's do something that's funny and lighthearted, but we also want to pamper people. So I just said, let's call it the Spomedy. So I just made a poster and rented the theater at Keanu, which was like $5,000. And I'm like, I don't know how it's gonna work. I just know we got to do it. So I made the poster and I rented the theater, and I was like, we'll figure it out. And then Erica Moscow, a good friend of mine now, at the time, I was bartending at Keanu, and she was in line, and she said, hey, I saw your poster. I said, okay. And she goes, well, I want to be a part of it. I'm like, all right, sure, right? So she had done comedy a bit. So I was like, okay, we'll do half comedy and we'll do half spa treatment kind of thing. And that was the first time I ever publicly spoke, and I just wanted to pamper. It was a women's only. I made it affordable. I made it $35. I had it catered. I had live music. I had drink specials. Everybody got a bag of spa products. We did a spa treatment in the audience. Like the audience got to do something. And I just came out, and I had a bag of toilet paper with me, and I started football and toilet paper into the audience, because I was like, you guys are probably going to cry a little bit. And I didn't have anything planned other than the fact that I wanted to deliver the message that what people were going through was normal. And by doing that, I just talked about what I went through. So like growing up, we didn't have any toilet paper because we just grew up ghetto and poor. And so I brought this big pack of toilet paper out with me. I was like, hey, you guys, like growing up, I never have any toilet paper. So now I bring it everywhere with me. And then the whole audience erupted. And I was like, oh, that's funny to you guys? And that feeling of just like making the audience laugh was incredible. So that was it. We just did the event, and I wanted to pamper everybody. And then after that, I had like endless amounts of messages and people saying that I changed their lives, and like, thank you so much for showing us that and teaching us that. And then Erica started running a amateur night at Bailey's Pub. Shout out to Bailey's for always being like super supportive of us in the community, and we wouldn't be where we're at if it wasn't for that platform. So then she bugged me for about a year to come and do amateur night, and I'm like, I'm not a comedian. I don't write jokes. I just am who I am. And she was like, that's all you got to do. I was like, so she's like, just tell a story. Like if you're standing in a group of friends at a party and you would tell a story, she's like, just tell that story. So I was like, okay. So I did a amateur night, and I was like, okay, this is my first time doing an amateur night. So I'm going to talk about all the firsts that have happened in my life. Like the first time that I like exited my dad, and the first time that I, well, I don't know what we can talk about. You just have to come to one of the shows.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It was pretty sideways, and I don't really have a lot of shame, because to me it's worth it. If you can make somebody laugh, I'll take the humility. I'll take the, just to make other people laugh. It's totally worth it. And then it just, that was it. There was a small standing ovation involved, and then I was hooked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I'm gonna make it one of these days.
Yeah. One day. That's what they all say.
Yeah.
It's like having kids. Oh, I can't wait to meet your baby. And then nobody shows up.
Well, I can't leave my house right now, unfortunately. So there's
yeah.
that. All right. So I know like we're going way over time. And you know what? I'm 100% okay with that. Are you okay with that, Tanner?
Yeah, I got nowhere to be.
Sweet. All right. So we're going to hit you with the Max City Minute, though.
Okay.
So I don't know if you watched the show before, but the lovely man behind the camera there, Tanner, is going to ask you some 5 questions and just answer them honestly. But some guests have made a mistake of like talking and not going into the mic. So when you answer the question, make sure to look at the mic. It's hard not to stare at Tanner. I know. He's gorgeous. But try to talk into the mic. Tanner, hit her with your questions, man.
Question number 1. Pre-COVID, where was your favorite place in town to do a show?
Oh, I'm at Bailey's. It's got to be Bailey's for sure. Everywhere but Bailey's.
Question number 2. How has being an artist in Fort McMurray affected how you see the town?
Oh, I have nothing but love for this town. It's given me so much opportunity. I've gotten out of debt 3 times already. Like, I'm so grateful for Fort McMurray. I'll always look at it gratefully.
Question number 3. What is your favorite thing to paint for fun?
People.
Question number 4. What is one weird habit people don't know you have?
Everybody knows everything about me. I could be obsessed with a puzzle.
Everybody can. And last question. If someone told you to explain Fort McMurray in one joke, what would that joke be?
When I first came to Fort McMurray, the culture shock for me was that nobody ties up their barbecues. So that was like, go. What? You don't chain this up? There's like rent all over the place. Look at all these broil kings.
That's hilarious.
So that was a big one for me.
That's hilarious. Those are your questions, yeah?
Those are my questions.
So you grew up in a place where like barbecues had to be tied up.
Oh, like you couldn't, there were none. My car used to get broken into every day. Like I just stuck a note in my deck hole that said you already got it. Like, and then I would go to a family reunion and my uncle would try to sell me my own deck. I'm like, I know you took this out of a Prelude at the mall. He's like, fine, fans and family discount. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's yeah, I grew up on the other side of the tracks.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on to your wallet.
Yeah, well, one of your responses there, like that's what you said when you were first doing your prank on me. Like, I got out of debt, and I got back in debt, and I'm getting back out of debt again.
Yeah,
like,
that's just how it works.
Yeah, that's too funny. Oh, my Lord. Well, yeah, we went over time, but I'm okay with that. Thanks for coming.
How long are we supposed to be?
They're only supposed to be about 20-ish minutes.
Oh.
And so, like, we're running a little over, but that's okay. The whole thought process of this is just easy breezy. Yeah. So, anyways, it is what it is. But the reason I try to keep it 20 minutes is because I want guests to come back again and again and again. So if we sit here and just chat for 3 hours, we might say everything. But now you can come back again and we can do another 20 minutes. Ooh. So there you go. So you will come back again, I hope.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For sure.
Sweet.
Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Thanks for coming.
I love your house.
Thank you. It's nice. It's a nice house. It's a nice home away from home for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. But, okay, so before we sign out, once again, let's just say our wishes of what we'd like to get. So I would like some Ben & Jerry Nike Dunks, please and thank you. That's my thing. You want Mike Holmes to come to your house.
Yeah.
Mike Holmes and art supplies.
Yeah.
And I just want anything that's free.
Tanner wants anything that's free. My sister would like a shout out from Will Smith.
And my mother would like to meet Matthew McConaughey.
Matt McConaughey, great book, Green Lights. All right. So on that note, Fort McMurray, thank you very much once again for tuning in. Hopefully the world, so people like Matt McConaughey and Will Smith see it. But thanks for tuning in. Definitely appreciate it. Renee, thank you so much for coming. Means the world to me.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody at home, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
I said this. That's another Mac City Morning Show done.